This is Thursday, February 24th, and we're starting at 6:01. Roll call, pledge of flag. Ready, begin.
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the
to the
flag
The
flag
of
flag
the
of the
United States
United
of
States of
America
America
and to the
and to the
republic
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 for
which it
which it
stands,
stands,
which stands
one
one
nation,
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty
liberty and
and
liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice for all. Okay, roll call of directors. Director Kelling, absent. Director Nyman, absent. Director Garcia,
Here,
Director Schoenberg,
Terry just came on, actually.
who just came on?
Terry.
Oh, okay. So Terry is not, Terry, are you here?
Terry, she's doing roll call of directors.
Oh, here. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay. Okay, so the only absent director is Director Nyman. Discussion vote
I think you didn't call on me, but yeah, I'm here.
oh, sorry. Are you here, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, discussion vote on adjusting the agenda if necessary.
Okay, so we do have a problem. I don't see D on here either, so I think we should address the stuff that doesn't pertain to D yet, but I just set my agenda down.
D will not be. I'm sorry. D will not be on tonight. He just gave me a brief update on 3 different things, and then he'll talk to us at the next meeting.
Okay.
His daughter is in some kind of band playing at the Crystal Palace in Bakersfield.
Okay, well then I guess I don't need to change the agenda if he's not going to be here.
We'll just work through it, right?
I guess so.
Okay. Was there anything else?
I'm sorry, I just misplaced. I had it in my hand a minute ago and I misplaced my agenda. So everybody else needs to look because I don't know how it could disappear when it was right in front of me, but it did.
You know, I can't make the motion, but on number 14, we can't move forward on that. We need another director.
That's true.
What is number 14?
I will move that we table 14, which is the accounts receivable ad hoc committee work until March, the first meeting in March, regular meeting in March.
I'll second that.
Wait,
Okay.
why can't we move forward? The 2 directors that are part of that committee are both here.
But
Yeah,
we can't make a vote on it,
we
right?
can't vote or
Oh, you're saying because one of the 2 of you would have to vote. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
and Director Gibson is an aye, so it's 4-0, 1 absent. Okay, so public comments, is there anything that needs to be said that's not part of our agenda? Okay, then moving forward to ad hoc committee reports. Project committee.
So I attended the state update meeting, and I think I can address whatever came up in when we get to each of those items. And the everything is pretty much covered on there, I believe. So.
Okay. Accounts payable committee.
Lisa and I met today and we went through the checks and we'll discuss that under financials.
Great, thank you for that check detail. Okay, you too, Deborah.
You're welcome.
Budget committee?
We are not
Nothing-
meeting yet. That's tabled for for a couple of months. I would table it forward. I think maybe Tiffany, if you could table that until April's regular meeting.
Okay, so pull it
What
off
do you-
until April?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about
Okay.
that? Everybody, is that? I think that'll give us enough time still to do the budget.
Yeah, that's good.
that's
We can
fine.
as part of that ad hoc, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds doable. Okay, book asset detail committee?
So that is also on hold. I'm gonna start discussing some of that with Deborah, but our first meeting is scheduled for March. I don't have my phone in front of me because I'm charging it. It's the first Wednesday in March.
Okay. So, treasurer committee?
Third.
We have not gotten together because Director Nyman has been absent. However, I do have a paper to make some transfers. I'm still a little confused over what transfers weren't made. I'm still trying to reconstruct where the missing transfers are. I mean, it's the money's there. It just needs to go from one account into another, and I'm just not sure which, what the issue is. 'Cause I thought I transferred everything, so I'm still trying to straighten that out before Director Nyman comes back. But I will try to have that straightened out before the next meeting and talk
Okay,
to them
thank you.
about it.
And then finally, accounts receivable committee?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Nothing to report. Perfect. Financial business, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information. Okay, Deborah.
All right, so we cut 9 checks today for a total of $6,965.54. There wasn't anything extraordinary. And unless you have any questions, I believe the check detail is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
no,
really
we
beautiful.
both, Director Kelly and myself, we both looked at that and didn't see any issues. And I have the checks ready to be mailed. They're signed.
Perfect. So I will
Once we
entertain a
approve
motion.
them.
I will move that we pay our bills.
I'll
I'll
second that.
second that.
Okay, Kelly and Garcia? Roll call of directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
and Gibson is an aye, so 4-0, 1 absent. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Discussion vote on billboard lease agreement with the Mountain Community Chamber of Commerce. So is everybody ready?
Mhm.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello?
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So, what should we do first? Do we want to address the email?
Yeah.
Okay, did everybody get that in their packet? And thank you for dropping that off for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
we read it. Johnny, do you have any input for us?
God, I had a hard time getting it turned off mute. No, I don't have any input. The only change we made was the length of time of the agreement, correct?
There's some question about sharing parcels, that there may be one extra parcel unless the sign is straddling the line. There was a question of whether or not we had included one extra parcel.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even see that email or that train of thought on there.
I believe it does. I believe one of the properties is divided into two as far as the access goes. So we would have to recheck that, but I believe that, you know, we had 3 properties that were turned over to us by the county. And so I don't remember how they divide, but definitely I believe all 3 parcel, the 2 signs and the easement, I believe take up all 3 parcels.
I remember that the water company had 1 parcel, and I think the county gave us 2. I think the furthest east sign was water company property. We, allowed the sign to be put on, and then the county donated the other 2, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, I think you are correct. So, but there are 3 parcels. The signs and the easement, total 3 parcels.
Yeah, I did. I would agree with that.
Is that all the questions, Mr. Saidi?
Oh, well, that was one. And then there was another question about the streetscape and having a clear definition of what the chamber's responsible for. I thought that was spelled out in our original agreement, and I don't think it is in the lease agreement that we currently have. I thought we had spelled it out a little bit more clearly, but let me, I'm looking over the lease agreement.
Question, point of information. Johnny, do we have a set of those plans for the beautification project? I would say that would spell it out exactly. What was constructed and what was left after that project is considered the downtown beautification project.
Well, yeah, and I've already done 2 walking tours pointing out every planter. Everything that has a sidewalk and a planter in front of it is the responsibility of the chamber. All the things that got plants all the way up to Caveman Cavies, down to the dance studio, and then I think those are all. And then down to Don's. Everything with a planter box and a curb is the responsibility of the chamber. And everything the sprinklers run to.
I thought the lights were the responsibility as well.
That is also their responsibility.
Okay, I think we probably do need to spell it out somewhere, and it is spelled out in our original agreement. I think we need to find that. Our original agreement with the county it spells all that stuff out. I haven't looked at that for a very long time.
And I think the first one with the chamber, because when this first came up, that was the topic brought up. The chamber said that they were doing the light bulbs and everything, taking care of the lights. So they must have had that in the original agreement.
It is. I believe it is. Or we already knew that. I mean, the chamber was working on it with us that whole time. It's just was a different person, not BJ. So I think when we referenced the Fraser Park streetscape, it was already really clearly understood what that meant. But I think since they've changed over, and also for clarification for future, presidents of that maybe we need to spell it out. I mean, I don't know if we can't sign the contract without that, but I definitely think they need a copy, and the copy should be an addendum to the contract.
Or we could just add that stuff and turn it back around and at the next meeting.
One of the two. And then
May I say
lastly,
something?
Wait a minute. What? One of the two what?
BJ was trying to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I just to let you know, we have assumed that responsibility. I just want going forward to have it clarified in the contract. for reasons of budgeting, and we know how to plan accordingly with our board. But for the most part, as I promised you guys, the billboards were upgraded and the lights were replaced, and I'm slowly, little by little, getting a grip on everything and bringing everything back up to speed, especially after COVID. So no real surprises here. I just want to be clear on everything we're financially responsible for so we can put it in our budget. So I appreciate you adding that to the contract, just so you know my position.
Well, the whole idea, BJ, when we did this, is that the signs would pay for the items that need to be taken care of. It wasn't, the signs weren't supposed to be a lot of additional, although, you know, there was obviously some money that needed to go to the chamber via the signs for, you know, for just staffing and stuff like that. But it wasn't supposed to be a money maker for the chamber. It was supposed to take care of the streetscape.
Correct, I understand.
And then Becky, when you were asking, Director Gibson, when you were asking about what I meant by either of the two, either we can sign the contract tonight and then add an addendum to the contract, or we can wait, table the contract for one more meeting and see if we can't dig up the original stuff with the county so that we can add that addendum before it's signed.
That sounds good.
And we would add that, yeah, it does sound to, yeah, carry it over to the next meeting, right?
Well, that's what I was saying, either. So if BJ's okay with it, we can sign it. If not, I think, I mean, it may be just better if everyone's okay with just carrying it over, and anything that needs clarification on it, because the last thing that BJ was asking for was that we add a print of the officers' names. So right now they're just cursive, and they're very hard to read. I believe it's Jerry Garcia that signed it, but and then Johnny, but they're difficult to read. And under BJ's, it actually says, you know, it's his printed name, his signature, and then the position. So I think he just wanted us to add that. And I talked to Tiffany about that today. And she was saying that we could just add a line that says print name, or, you know, that would be relatively easy. So just for that, we may want to hold off, and if you're okay with that, BJ, and sign this at the next meeting, you know, have you come one more time, sorry about that, but to the next meeting, and that way we could have all of the things you're asking for, hopefully, taken care of. The one that'll be a little interesting, I think, is going through our files and finding the original contract where it spells out all the things that the county wanted taken care of as part of the streetscape, but I think we could do that.
And he also wanted
Yeah,
paragraph 10.
Just a clarification on it.
Yeah, what the property becomes necessary for water usage. He wants clarification on that.
So
what does that mean? Clarification for water usage.
Let me explain that. So the understanding was that the county was having us do these signs, but if there was an emergency where we had to drill a well, which is highly unlikely, where the signs are, if we needed to somehow incorporate that property for water usage, then the signage project would go away. It's highly unlikely that would happen. I think that was just something added by, again, the county in our negotiation with the county. You know, they were concerned, and we were concerned if there was some need for those properties as far as water. And that would be because basically when the county gave us those parcels to use for this project, because they wanted all the signs removed up and down Fraser Mountain Road, our basic issue was only that what if for any bizarre reason we needed that property, because we do have a well further down, on the property, and so we put that into the negotiation. I think the original negotiation contract.
So is that
I
clear for
understand
you?
that completely. And from your, yes, I was saying, I understand completely. And from your point of view, I think that's a smart contingency to add. Just, I would like to have it make note the property with those APN numbers, so the exact location is known, because it's very general. So if
Okay.
that's the reference in which the property, yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
And yes, I do understand that.
That's the reference. It's not the planters or the lights or anything. It's the three parcels that the signs, one being an easement, and then the parcels that the signs are on. It's those properties.
So have
I
we cleared up everything? And it's okay for us to make a motion to carry this over to our next meeting?
I just want to check with Tiffany. Do you think, and you can work with me if you need to, because I was there. Well, so was Jerry. Actually, I think maybe even Becky. But
yes, I was.
Okay, so the three of us. I don't know if you need to work with any of us to try to just find that paperwork, and I believe it's just in the project. It's part of the USDA drawer. And then I don't know if you got notes on you'll be able to listen to listen back to this, and we just need to add all the things we talked about so far. So do you think you can do that by the next meeting, or should we carry it over to the next planning meeting?
I'll shoot for the next meeting, and Lisa, if you don't mind a phone call, like you were saying, any questions I have, or I can just go over that with you to make the changes.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all, if that's okay
Okay.
with the rest of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if I have to
that's
re-sign
good.
anything, or if you can just print my name, I don't know, whatever's gonna be needed to update that document. Just let me know and I'll be available.
So I'd like to move that we carry this over to the next regular meeting in March. And if for some reason we aren't able to include all of the clarifications, that it would table one more meeting to the planning meeting.
Okay, I have one question. The current contract expires on the 11th. Is our next regular meeting before the 11th?
The 10th.
Oh, but if you remember, we went far past our last deadline. So as long as we're working
Okay,
on
perfect.
it, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
That's what I wanted to hear.
But Becky, our next meeting is on I think it's the 10th.
Well, wow. Okay, so everything just works, right?
Yes.
So have we
second that
already made the motion?
I made the
Okay,
motion,
thank-
but it does not have a seconder.
I'm sorry. Okay,
I'll
so
second.
roll call of directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
and Director Gibson, it's an aye. So it's 4-0, 1 absent. Okay, so we will see you at our next meeting.
Thank you, BJ.
May I add a comment? Can I add a comment?
Of course.
I just want to let you know, I appreciate the work and the changes to be done for clarification purposes. And if there is any lapse in the time, we will still make a payment to you regardless. So no worries about that. Just go ahead and get it done right. Either way, we'll still honor our rental payment to you guys. So please don't worry about that. And also, I wanted to let the board know, if they didn't already, that I have a new position with the county as field representative for Supervisor Scrivens. Please feel free to reach out to me and I can do whatever I can to help you from the county's end if you ever need anything done.
Okay, well, you broke up quite a bit, but I think I understood the gist of that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good. All right. Well, then I will see you at your next meeting.
Perfect.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Number 7,
Thank
discussion
you,
vote.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Discussion vote on district rate and fee study and the Prop 218 public hearing.
So, I heard from Tiffany that we did get, or from Johnny, I can't remember which, that we did get a TA agreement extension for the additional work that needs to be done on this, with, RCAC. And we didn't get it, but they got it with the, state. And so, I know that we cannot move forward until we have an actual booklet in writing, the actual rate study booklet or rate study paperwork, so to speak. It's kind of like they did a booklet last time. So we need that in hand before we can actually move forward, I believe. So I think it's in the works. I believe that they got, and Johnny and Tiffany can fill that in. I believe they did get the TA agreement, but we need to wait for them to move forward on that paperwork.
I do have an update on that.
Well, go
Okay.
ahead, Tiffany.
So I emailed David Hosley to ask about that document. He said he has coworkers who are currently writing that report and that he'll let us know as soon as it's done.
Great. And then I just have a question, where we stand, Tiffany, on the standby fees, which are a completely separate part of it, 218, but were we able to move forward on that at all?
So I emailed 4 or 5 different companies that said they did that type of work to get a proposal. I did get a couple of responses, and they plan on having something in writing before the next meeting on March 10th. So I'll have that as an agenda item, and hopefully I'll have a couple of quotes from these companies.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So are we done with financial business now?
Believe so.
Can we release our bookkeeper?
I believe so.
Thank you, Deborah.
Good night.
Thank
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 you,
you.
you,
Deborah.
Deborah.
Thank you. Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, unfinished business. Discussion vote update on Fraser Park, Lake of the Woods Consolidation Planning Project. A, discussion vote on test well property appraisals.
And we gotta know the
Yeah, that's not happening until we get further along. I think we could table everything in that section unless we have some claims. Is that correct? Number G.
What do you mean that's not happening until we're further along? What about the letter we have from from the appraisers?
Well, remember,
Valbridge.
I thought the whole idea was to secure the temporary easement first.
Well, can we note the time?
Thank you, Terry. Sorry about that. 6:29.
And the appraisers, the email chain that I've been seeing going back and forth refers to right now, the plan is to get the temporary appraisal done within the next 2 weeks. We do have letters to go out that people need to approve, but the one you're going to approve tonight, it has simply to do about the temporary easement for well 7. Remember, I believe that Lawrence was talking about getting the appraisals and everything, and I thought it was decided that we were going to do the temporary easement and the access easement first.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this line item, I believe, is about it's under the consolidation project.
Right. Well, we don't need to vote, but I thought we were going to just mention that we received a letter from Valbridge.
Well, the letter from Valbridge doesn't refer to this line item. It refers to well 7. The temporary easement access and the easement to drill well 7.
I thought it was referring to both.
No.
Just
Okay.
has one APN number on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay. So I move that we, let me just look at this for a second. Okay, so I'm gonna move that we table, A, B, C, D, E, and F, uh, for now and move them to the next meeting, which they're already on the agenda, but just address them at the next regular meeting. And that we go on to G, which is claim 15.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson is aye, so it's 4-0, 1 absent. Great, so can we go to G? Discussion vote on claim 15 and other claims and payouts. Okay, claim 15.
This is Carlos.
Yeah, so basically, claim 15, I just had to add the staff recovery cost to it from the state ad hoc meeting. I did that already, so for under management and administration, the total was $566.66. And staff recovery cost was $96.75. So bringing the planning subtotal for that to $663.41. We had two admin invoices from D. Jasper and Associates. First invoice is invoice number 22-01013 for a total of $408. Second invoice number is 22-01055, total of $204. So test well design subtotal is $612, bringing the total planning invoice to $1,275.41. But state takes the rounded total, so the total invoice would be $1,275.
Okay, and then quick question on this. I know that we were running out of money on this, but
Yes,
this
so
one we're
no, we're out of money on this one. So that's the thing is, do we want to submit it? Because I mean, usually it takes a month or so to approve it. So do we submit it and hope Lawrence approves the budget request, or do we wait and submit it later once the budget request has been approved?
Good
Because
question.
there's only like $5 left in the
I
management administration budget right now.
I think that would have been a question for D, and we had asked him if he could cover some costs at the last meeting, and he was checking on that. So personally, I think we, just out of respect for getting the budget change approved, I mean, we got a verbal, but out of respect for getting that, I mean, did we all that submitted to Lawrence right now or no?
I emailed that to Lawrence a week ago Thursday.
Okay, so we did get a verbal approval from Lawrence, as far as I remember. Am I correct, Tiffany?
Yeah, he's the one who said to ask for the 1 year at a time.
Okay, so I think if we have a verbal and we already emailed it, we could actually submit it. Otherwise, I would say we should hold off. But I think, I mean, I don't know what the other directors think, but I think if we have a verbal approval on the budget changes, because it takes a while for the state to do this anyway. And if Lawrence has everything he needs and he already knows ahead of time what we're asking for. And it's a pretty small amount on this particular claim, although it will be much larger when he, switches over the budget. But I would say that we should go ahead and submit it. What
I
are
mean,
the other?
I have a question about it. So it would get covered now. We'll cover it, and then you just have to adjust some other places when we get the money. When and if we get the money. No?
No, it's not covered because there isn't a line item to pay the charges. But because on the state update meeting, we had already discussed this with Lawrence, and we already sent into Lawrence the letter requesting the budget adjustment, which is basically requesting that we move money from contingency to cover what we need to cover. So, and Lawrence already talked to us about that and suggested that we only do a year at a time because, rather than move too much money at once. So, I mean, he knows everything that's going to be happening, and he has to approve the claim before it goes up the chain anyway, I believe. So, I think we're okay. Is that correct?
Either way, Lisa, the worst that'll happen is if we submit the claim, they'll say, hey, we're not going to cover the amount of $566 and $566.66. So we can just include that in the next invoice if that's the worst case scenario.
Okay, so then I'm going to move that we go ahead and submit the claim.
Second that.
Did you get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent. Director Schellenberg?
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye, 4-0, 1 absent. Okay. Number 9, discussion vote update on the Fraser Park Utility District Meter Replacement Project and Emergency Well Supply Project. A, discussion vote on bid award for Well 7.
I didn't get an update on that from D on the bid award. I know that I received an email regarding that, but let me see real quick.
There's paperwork on it.
Curtis.
Yeah, there's a whole booklet on it.
So
Well, 7 bid recommendation. So we would approve the recommendation.
correct.
Yeah, I see it right here.
So, having talked about this again quite a bit at the state update meeting, and we've also talked about it on these meetings, we had the 4 general contractors that bid for the project. They're suggesting that we go with the low bidder, which is the norm, which is Unified. We've worked with Unified before. Basically, Curtis and Dee were checking on Unified to make sure that they were able to fulfill all the paperwork and that was necessary, and that everything was okay, and their license is active and in good standing and all that stuff. They listed the 5 subcontractors. The biggest one, Well and Pump, was the same subcontractor for the drilling on all 4 general contractors that bid. And then they're listing electrical P&J, which we've worked with quite a bit. Fencing, Northern United Fence. I don't know if we've worked with them or not. HVAC, Journey Air Conditioning. I don't recall working with them. And painting, we have worked, I believe, with that company. So I'd like to move that we approve the low bid that's being recommended to us by our engineers.
I'll second that.
Roll call of directors. Director Garcia?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Nyman, absent. Director Schellenberg?
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye, 4-0, 1 absent. Great,
Okay, and then-
moving on to B.
Wait,
Yeah.
before we move on. And then I just wanted to say for this that the bid itself, and we had talked about this a little bit at the last meeting, is actually over the amount of our budget currently, or of our engineer's estimate. And we did talk about this at the state meeting with Lawrence, and Lawrence was okay with that. He felt that the categories were general enough that we should be able to cover this, and that we shouldn't have to move money from the contingency as far as the meters and everything until we're further along with the meter portion, and that he had placed enough money in the contingency to be able to cover this bid. That was my understanding. Carlos, was that, or no, this is Oscar. Oscar, was that your understanding?
Yeah, that was my understanding
Okay,
as well. And he said he also didn't see a problem with going with the low bidder. The only issue would have been if you guys wouldn't have gone with the low bidder, then they would have required more information, but everything seems okay.
right. So I just wanted to
Okay.
add that additional info.
Okay, so B, discussion vote on site access through say a property.
So I
Okay.
think oh, go ahead, Johnny.
Okay, so when I sent to Tiffany the letter for the appraisal, I neglected to send all 9 letters. There's 9 letters with 9 different APNs on them, but they're all the same letter, just with different APNs on it. So
Oh my
I would
gosh.
recommend that you approve all 9. And then I've sent D an email already to make sure that he included the access easement along the frontage road to be able to get to it. But then that way we'll have the correct one, because there's no way I could tell by looking at it what APN that is, but we're going to need them all anyway. So we might as well just approve all 9 letters. And I didn't know who I could send it to. So I sent it to you, Lisa, the email with all 9. And if you
Oh, I
want me to
didn't.
send it to everybody, I mean, I did it just now when I realized that there was actually 9 letters there on the attachments.
Well, I don't know if we want to approve all 9, because some of them have to do with the stuff we're holding off on.
But then we could just pull them out, and then that won't hold us up, because they're waiting.
But I don't think we're voting per se on because we don't have an amount. That letter just said, I mean, we don't have an amount or anything to vote on, and we still need the attorney's letter. I mean, I don't think that we can move forward with a vote tonight on, the way it's written in the agenda, because it says discussion vote on site access to say a property. So it's not just a vote on moving forward with the appraisals, which we already gave that vote a while back. So it's not that we're moving forward with the appraisals, it's that we need to actually talk to, so basically we needed to have this one appraisal as far as the amount, and then we need to look at the amount, and then we can move forward, I believe, on it. So
Well, agreed, but the way me and D took it is, even before they send this letter that just states that we're going to do an appraisal, that the board wanted to review it first before they sent that letter. So I think the letters do need to be approved. So when you do get it, the appraisal amount, that they could do it, because the way I read it, they're planning on getting the appraisals done within 2 weeks.
yeah, but if you read the letter, can I just read the letter?
Sure.
It says, the purpose of this letter is to inform you that we have been retained by Fraser Park Public Utility District, so they've already been retained, to appraise the above referenced parcel, and then there's 9, I guess, and not just the one. The appraisal of your property will be used by Fraser Park Public Utility District to consider acquisition of your real property identified herein for public use purposes. We conducted a drive-by inspection of the subject property on January 26, 2022. The appraisal report does not require a full inspection of the property. For that reason, your attendance was not necessary. However, if you feel any information is pertinent to its valuation, please do share. Thank you for your prompt attention to this matter. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me. There's nothing that I can see that we should be voting on in this letter.
Except for, but like I was saying, I agree. It wasn't something that normally would even need approval, because when you approve the appraisals, which you have in theory, I mean, I thought that you already said move, because we have the driller coming in within maybe as soon as 30 to 60
Okay.
days.
Okay, I'm going to say it again, Johnny. We approved the appraisals already. We
That's right.
approved him to contract with the appraiser.
Yeah,
We need
okay.
an amount. We are not going to just like make a motion without having the actual appraisal. All this letter is saying is they don't need us to do the appraisal. Okay, well then we need the appraisal.
Okay, then what I'm saying is we need to schedule an emergency meeting then, because if we wait another 2 weeks to even send this letter to start the appraisal process,
Send
can
this
wind up-
letter to
Okay,
who?
wait a minute.
this letter, before they could do the appraisal, they need to send this letter to the property owner.
No, they don't. They
Well,
said they
that-
did a
that's what they-
drive-by.
Okay, but they want to notify the landowner. If you read the last part, they're notifying the landowner, so they have time to give information that they feel is pertinent to the valuation. So my understanding is we needed to get the letter out as soon as possible, so then they could do the official appraisal. But that's fine. I mean, if you disagree with what I'm saying, that's cool. I'm just saying that we need to maybe prepare for a quicker meeting, because if we do get a driller that says, yeah, we could be there in 30 days and we don't have access yet, then we're in trouble.
Okay,
Dee-
so
And
so
Dee
wait a
needs some
minute.
clarification, because Dee says the appraisal will be done soon, hopefully in 2 weeks. So that means that Dee's already assuming that he's authorized the appraisal to be done.
Okay, so I just have a clarification. So this was not sent out. This has only been sent to us. This has not been sent to the property owner?
It has not. It has not been sent, because you said that you wanted to see the letter before it was sent. So they sent it to us first.
That's not exactly what I said, but okay.
Well, okay. I mean, that was the impression everybody got, that before the letter went out, the board wanted to see it. So anyway, that's why it came to us right now. But if you say that the appraisal cost hasn't been approved, then I need to tell Dee to hold everything up until you get the appraisal.
No. I'm misunderstanding what's going on. So they're asking if the property owner has any information pertinent to its valuation, not us.
That's correct.
So if this didn't actually go to the property owner, which I thought it did,
It did not.
then
no.
yes, we need to move to approve them. Are they all exactly identical?
Everyone that I read is exactly identical. That's why I sent it to you. But that also tells me there was something left out, because this says consider acquisition of your property. Maybe that's what they call a temporary easement as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
see, I think we
So
need
I'll
to run
clarify
this.
that.
I think we need to run this by the attorney before we approve it, because this is saying acquisition. This isn't saying a temporary easement at all.
Okay, well, again, we could get clarification from that before we officially send it. But if you guys approve all 9, in theory, that it's agreed upon by Alan, then we don't have to have another meeting to actually send this letter to get that rolling.
But are we acquiring all 9 parcels? Or
No,
just-
no, we're not. No.
It only says in consideration. And I would assume that if we're putting off the appraisal for the Lake of the Woods project, then we wouldn't even send the letters just yet. But I don't know which APNs we need right now currently. So you would have to approve all 9, and we would pick out the APNs that we need.
Well, and that's a problem, because are all 9 of these actually just Saya, or are some of them the other property? I mean, it doesn't say. It just says
Well, there is no other property. It's all Saya.
there is another property we asked them to appraise.
Oh, you're talking about the Wainwright property.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, what does it we're only going to use the ones that are pertinent to well 7 right now, but I don't have time to go on the county website and find out which ones apply per. Let's see, hang on, man. Let me back up and call the whole thing up. I'll look at each one because it does give an address. So the one that you guys got says 5234 Fraser Mountain Park Road. So I can narrow out the Wainwright one.
Where does
Maybe.
it say that?
Right
At the
on.
very
Oh, I
top.
see.
Bradford,
Brad,
Oliver.
yeah, 5234. Okay.
Who's Bradford Oliver?
I have no
Hey.
idea.
I have no idea either. See, the problem is it's just a simple letter. So we just need to get to where we can move forward after we alleviate the concerns about which ones we're actually going to send. Because if we have to have another meeting, that puts everything back another 2 weeks, and then it'll be 2 weeks for an appraisal after that.
I know, but this letter's not okay. Could you pull up all of the
Well, I'm looking.
APNs?
I also sent you, so
Okay,
problem
let me,
is-
my phone was charging. Let me go get my phone so I can pull it up without disturbing the Zoom meeting. Hold on.
then there's one going to go to somebody in Utah.
I'm sorry, what?
And one of these has an address for an owner in Utah. So I don't know who that is, but Bailey. So apparently they're sending one to the third test well site that we decided not to even use. So it's going to take some clarification, but we need, since it's all the exact same wording, we need the approval of the ones that are related to well 7, and we just won't use the rest of them.
But the wording needs to be different on the approval. I'm pulling them up right now. Hold on.
Yeah, because we don't want to acquire those properties.
No, it needs to say temporary easement. I mean,
Okay,
we do want
again,
to acquire
okay,
it. but-
again, acquisition very well could fall under the heading, or temporary easement could very well fall under the heading acquisition. It doesn't mean permanent acquisition. It just means acquiring the temporary easement. So all I'm saying is it doesn't matter what you approve, because nothing's going to be sent out until we clarify what's for what after Alan looks at it. If Alan says, yeah, send them out, then we can send them out without having another board meeting.
But Johnny, it does say the district to consider acquisition of your real property.
Okay, like I just said, but does acquisition mean permanent possession of property, or does it also mean acquiring it for a temporary easement?
Well,
That's
I
what I'll
think that
ask
what
Alan.
they're saying,
Okay, can I just read this part before we go on? It's D wrote to okay, so D has all these emails to Nicholas Berger, who at Valbridge, RE Rush Appraisal, Fraser Park well sites, temporary easement for drilling the replacement well. And on one of them, D wrote, Nicholas, just one reminder, we need to review the notification letter to the landowner before you send it out. The driller could be ready to move on site as early as 30 days from now, although I think it'll be more like 60 days. So then they said they'll prioritize the appraisal. Okay, and then he wrote him again, Nicholas, it is the temporary construction easement. It will be used for about 90 days. This easement is for drilling the replacement well. You will see it as well number 7, APN 255320-28, temporary construction easement on Exhibit A of the attached Valbridge second updated appraisal. Can you please specify, this is them writing back, can you please specify which of the 2 well sites you would like rushed? I am reaching out to clarify after our receptionist talked to you. It looks like you were sent the letters to the landowners on February 11th. This is to D from our client director, Carla Caro. I will attach them here again for your review. Okay, and then there's a whole bunch of letters. So according to D, it is Let me see if I can find it. Well, number 7, APM 255-320.
And
Please.
unfortunately, each one of these letters has a bunch of names I've never even heard of. So the next thing I would ask for is it's going to be the same verbiage, but with whatever APNs are needed, necessary. Can you guys say yes with an ad hoc after it goes by Alan that it doesn't require a board meeting to send the letter?
That's what I would say. I would
That would be
say
awesome. That would
I would
simplify
say
everything.
that we need to move to vote that, but the problem is that 2 of us are on the ad hoc and can't vote or should not vote, should abstain that vote,
Can you?
which means that we can't vote on it.
Well, for this one situation, can you just appoint a different ad hoc?
It wouldn't matter. The
If
ad hoc would still
we-
be two.
Yeah, we can't appoint an ad hoc. We don't have enough board members. So
Well, all right.
We need all
I-
5 here, Johnny.
Well, technically, this letter wouldn't need to
Okay.
be voted on anyway, would it, Lisa? It wouldn't technically need to be voted on anyway. So you could just, in theory, direct it to be sent if it meets the criteria of whoever on the board and Alan Dowd with the correct APNs on it. It don't have to be voted on. It's just a simple letter. The only thing that has to be voted on is the actual appraisal.
correct. So here's what I'd like to see is just a verbal okay from the rest of the directors to Director Garcia and to me, from Director since we don't have enough people, Director Kelly and Director Gibson, a verbal okay that we look at this letter as part of the project ad hoc once it's corrected and has been sent to our attorney. And because it definitely needs to say easement on it. And if we think it says all of the right verbiage, that you allow us to direct them to send it out. I mean, we're not okaying we're only okaying an appraisal. We're not okaying the appraisal amount, but I still think that the verbiage is not correct on any of these letters.
Yeah, and we'd have to find the right APN number.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, but are
well, that's
you
not a problem.
willing to allow the project committee to look at that as an ad hoc and give an okay to D to have Valbridge send this to the property owner once it's amended correctly?
And
You
we
mean
gotta
as part of an existing ad hoc?
Say that again?
You mean as part of an existing ad hoc, right?
Yeah, the project ad hoc is the ad hoc that's doing this, but
I know, but you just said, I just was going for clarity. So I'm okay with you guys taking on one more thing.
it's not
Is everybody
taking
on
on
that
one more
committee?
thing. It's already been discussed in the state meeting. It's just that the letter does not, we had already discussed this in the last state meeting that it wasn't okay. I mean, Jerry wasn't there, but I said it a little differently, but I basically said we wanted to look at the letter before it went out. That's correct. So, because we wanted to make sure that it was not saying what it says here, which is to consider acquisition. It's just not clear. And we're a little concerned about SAIA. I mean, we want to put the letter in such a way that they're hopefully willing to just move forward without us having to go to court. And they're not going to move forward with this letter that's talking about acquisition right now. We just need acquisition
Okay, well,
temporary.
I'm okay with it. How about you, Kelly?
I'm concerned too about the names on the letters.
I don't know who Bradford Oliver is. So that's another question I have.
Well, again,
They're
Terry,
all different.
Terry, all of that stuff's going to be changed. It's just you saying, yeah, it don't require a vote. You're okay with ad hoc handling it with their attorney and with D. All the
I
names, everything's going to be fixed.
I understand that, but I want the Director Garcia and Schonberg to understand too, that they have to, not only the verbiage, but the name.
Yeah, and the APNs, it's going to be totally revisited. It'll all be fixed by Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay,
Can
so Terry, are you okay with the existing ad hoc getting this letter, the verbiage
Yeah.
corrected?
Yes.
Okay, is that all? Is that all we need? Is our
I think-
support of that?
I think that's all we can do right now,
Okay.
because we don't even have enough directors to really vote, to make an
Okay, well,
actual vote.
that's good then. So be taken care of by Tuesday next week. Awesome. Moving
Okay,
on to,
can I just ask that, Johnny, that you, if we are not replying to, because sometimes these threads, the stuff gets lost. And so, especially if I'm trying to look at it on my cell phone. So if you have not gotten a reply from us, because Jerry and I are going to have to meet pretty quickly to look at this. So can you give us a text or something saying that you received another?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm-
Lately, every time there's something that pertains to you that you need to review, I've been sending you a text.
And I
Make
think
sure.
what we really need to do is we need a meeting between you, me, Jerry, and the maybe even the attorney, but definitely D, just to get the letter straight.
Agreed. I'm sending an email right now, including you and Jerry.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
okay,
you.
so moving on to C, discussion vote on the plans and specifications for the meter replacement.
Okay, on the meter replacement, okay, now I got to go back to D's update. The meter replacement, the only update on any of that is it says Curtis is thinking that he will need another week to get the plans and specs done. They're very close to finished for review by the board and the state. So that'll be it on the meter project topic.
So I'd like to table D and E in light of the fact that we need to wait till we have the plans and specs and move on to, well, actually, Oscar, do we have a claim?
Well, actually, I thought that you guys were gonna vote on the budget adjustment because D gave me the information for that, and
Oh.
yeah, that's E.
Yeah, the tests.
Okay.
Because we won't be able to file claim 3 until the new budget adjustment is because we need to move money
That's what
from
I thought.
contingency to planning and design.
Okay, so let me reword that. So we discussed C. We don't have anything to vote on yet. I'd like to table D and F to the next meeting and discuss E.
I'll second
To the
that.
next which meeting? Which
To the
meeting?
next regular meeting.
At the beginning of March?
Yes, the first regular
Okay,
meeting.
perfect. Okay. And Kellen, you seconded that, right?
Second that.
Roll call of directors, Director Garcia,
Aye,
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye, 4-0-1 absent. Okay. Discussion vote on a new budget adjustment.
So for the budget adjustment, I talked to D about it and I confirmed with him, and he gave me the amount. Initially, when we talked about it, the last meeting, we had put it up to 34,000, but we didn't take into consideration additional work that's going to be needed for the meters. So after all of that, D gave me the number of $65,888 for future costs associated with the planning and design of both projects. And I asked him again, and he said that the number was fairly conservative. So after that, then he gave me the spreadsheet that you guys have access to, and it details more or less what the costs are projected for.
I'm trying to
both
find the
projects.
spreadsheet because I didn't see that. Let me, I have it, but hold on.
It's tiny.
Because I know Lawrence's concern was that it wasn't spelled out very well what was being used for, what items were actually a part of that. And this is so tiny, I can barely read it. Let's see.
So initially, when he expressed that he had concern, Lawrence did, was before we even sent him the first spreadsheet, which Tiffany did forward to him. What Dee did for this, he added additional things for the meter project on there as well that weren't in the original spreadsheet that he had created.
Okay.
Read it? You want me to read it?
I'm sorry, what?
I was asking Lisa if she can read it, if she needs.
I'm squinting and reading it, but yeah. I mean, I see that he's broken it down better than it was.
And I apologize. I put it in horizontal because if I would have put it vertical, it would have been even smaller. So
Yeah. I know. I mean, it looks okay. I don't know what the other directors think about that. It's it's basically adding. So originally we had asked for whatever was 34. So this would be changing the planning and design to 68,05275, and he's so it actually would reduce the contingency. Is that correct? It was 2,164.75, and then he's going to. But then he says it's reducing contingency by 65,888.
The budget
increasing contingency.
Reducing.
Yeah. Decreasing contingency by 65,888.
But those numbers don't match.
That might have been a wording mistake on my end. Let me take a look at that.
On your letter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says the budget originally was $2,164.75. We want to revise it to 68,052.75. So we're going to reduce, and the contingency budget is $388,256, and we're gonna decrease that by the 65,888.
No, it should be by the wait a minute, from 2,000 to 68 and reduce. Okay, so the 65,888 is the difference between the 68 and the minus the 2,164. That's correct.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I read it wrong.
Okay.
I do have a suggestion, and this is for future costs, and he said this is a fairly conservative number. If there is additional money that's needed for, well, I would say for the well, for planning and design, I know there was the allocation of money from IRWIMP. and I'm not sure if we used it all. That would be
Well,
a question for D.
Yeah, we've asked D multiple times because as far as my understanding, it was increased by 20 something thousand. D said he didn't get all that, which I don't understand exactly. And we asked him for clarification and to tell us what he did get and what it was spent on, and we've never gotten that.
So I would get clarification to see if there's any funds left over from Irwin that could be used for that. For future. I mean, you know, that could be billed to that for Irwin funding if there even is money left over there.
I believe there is. So anyway, I'm gonna move. I mean, I know that Lawrence was suggesting that we not make a lot of changes to contingency until we move further along, and so but we definitely need this budget adjustment in order to pay any claims. So I'm gonna move that we go ahead and submit the new numbers, the new budget adjustment to Lawrence and get an okay on that so that we can pay our claim 3.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Gibson, aye. 4-0, absent. Great. So now moving on to number 10, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. Discussion vote on the technical assistance work plan.
Where are we at with that, Oscar and Carlos?
We're still waiting for approval. Of the work
Okay.
plan.
Okay.
So we can't do anything else until that happens. So I'm going to move that we table B, C, D, and E until we have word that we can move forward because the technical assistance has been granted.
I'll second that.
Great. Roll call of directors. Director Garcia. Do I not hear Garcia?
I'm sorry, I just came back from the restroom.
That's okay. Sorry. We're voting on.
Number 10.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
We're tabling number 10.
Aye.
Well, everything except A, which we just talked about.
Yes. That's fine.
Okay. Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye. 4-0, absent. So we are moving on to number 11, Callows, and can we is it Oscar with us tonight?
Yeah, just go ahead and note the time.
And the time is 7:14.
Alrighty, and this is where we say goodbye.
Thank you, Oscar and
Good
Carlos.
night.
Carlos and Oscar.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. Good night.
Discussion vote update on Callows Community Power Resiliency allocation to Special Districts Grant A. Discussion vote update on purchasing of generators.
Okay, I've been down to PTS rentals 3 times now, pushing getting the information. Greg had actually gotten COVID as well, but luckily the update from D is the updated submittals were transferred to Electrical Power Systems today by FedEx. They will be reviewed by this firm and Joe Prevender, hoping to approve them and order the generators next week.
Okay.
And that covers items A and B.
Okay, any questions or comments from directors?
Nope.
Okay, we can move on to number 12. Discussion vote on well 5 blending station and purchasing a nitrate analyzer.
Well,
Okay,
we've already,
Johnny.
we've already purchased the analyzer. We're just waiting for it to get here. Due to the backlog, it was supposed to be there already. Maybe it got there today. I haven't talked to Peter yet. Once he gets it, it's going to take him about 2 weeks to build the board it's going to mount on. I've been in communication with Jesse Dollywall about it. He's the one that's pushing for it. So as soon as I have a further update about installation, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. Number 13, discussion vote on the employee handbook. We have tabled that until Brahma gets back, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, that was previously tabled,
okay. I'm sorry,
as was 14.
I'm having trouble get there. Yep, 14. Okay, 15, discussion vote on forming an ad hoc committee to fill out the Aqua JPIA cybersecurity questionnaire. I thought Johnny was filling it out and turning it in.
I did.
Yeah.
I did turn it in. I filled it out. It was basically exactly like last time. I filled out and submitted it before the deadline.
So
Beautiful.
this can just be pulled off the agenda.
Awesome. 16, discussion vote on modified services in response to COVID-19.
Yeah, I see no reason to change anything. We're going with the state suggestions, which are actually loosening up now.
Right. Okay. Discussion vote on the.
Well,
Yes?
we need to vote on it because it has to be voted on every month. So yeah, are we always voting on it on this one or the regular meeting, Tiffany?
Always at the second meeting.
Okay, then I'd like to move that we continue with the current level of modified services until next month, until next time we vote.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye. 4-0, 1 absent. Discussion vote on resolution SP 20220-224-01, renewing use of remote teleconference meetings under AB 361.
Are we-
Tiffany,
have
can
a
still keep
update.
doing it?
Yeah, that's my update. So this may be the last time you're able to do that. The AB 361 sunsets March 31st. And from
Mhm.
what I've been reading down the pike, it's not gonna renew. So chances are come April, we'll have to be back in person.
It's in time
Okay.
for my birthday.
Well, I'd like to move that we renew the I'd like to, it's a new resolution, so I'd like to move that we, I don't have the resolution in front of me. Hold on, sorry.
It's on the agenda.
I know. I'd like to move that we adopt resolution number FP 20220224-01 in the matter of a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Fraser Park Public Utility District proclaiming a local emergency persists, re-ratifying the proclamation of a state of emergency on March 4th, 2020, and reauthorizing remote teleconference meetings of the legislative bodies of the Fraser Park Public Utility District for the period of March 1, 2022 through March 30th, 2022, pursuant to Brown Act provisions.
I second that motion.
Roll call directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye. 4-0, 1 absent. Okay, so now review and approve meeting minutes for January 13th, 2022 regular meeting.
Can I just say that I made a couple of modifications, very minimal stuff on those, but I cannot find where I put those meeting minutes because they were from last time. And so I'm going to have to abstain because I cannot find them. So another director will need to make a motion. And then I'll have to get, if whoever motions it, goes ahead and approves it with the amendment, the normal wording, then I should be able to submit. It was really little stuff. I just can't find them. I can
And you
submit.
didn't give it to
Tiffany.
Tiffany before the last meeting?
I thought I did, but I don't think I did.
Ah,
I think I gave it to her. I was going to give it to her at the meeting, and I don't think I ever did. Right, Tiffany? Or I was supposed to give it to you right after that.
Yeah, no, I haven't received your changes yet.
Yeah, it wasn't on all three either, but unfortunately I can't find any of the three.
Oh, we can, if you're not gonna vote, then we can't, do January 27th. Because, Director Garcia was absent. So he can't vote.
Well, actually, I guess I can vote on it. I don't need to abstain, but as long as you word it where I can still give her the very, very minor housekeeping changes. They were minor. It wasn't anything that changed the meaning of anything. So here, I'll just.
I need to plaster that on our foreheads. Okay, I found it. Okay. I move that we approve the minutes for Thursday, February 13th, 2022.
I second the motion.
Wait, if all you do is approve them, then I cannot make any changes.
Well, wait. I didn't get to say all my
Okay.
in there. With the where's it at? With any amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to the meeting or after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or may not need to, or that may need to be corrected.
Director Garcia, do you agree with that friendly amendment to our
Yes, I
own
do.
motion?
Yes, I
Okay,
do. Thank you.
roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Killing,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye. 4-0, 1 absent. Okay, now the minutes. From 1/20/22, the state update meeting.
Okay. I move that we approve the state update meeting minutes for Thursday, January 2022 with
And I'll,
with any amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous or after the meeting, and any additional amendments for typos or other errors that may have not been caught or that we may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent, Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye. 4-0, 1 absent. And now the minutes for 1/27/22, the regular state planning and project meeting.
Okay. I move that we approve the regular meeting minutes for Thursday, January 27, 2022. With the amendments that were sent to Tiffany with previous or after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call directors. Director Garcia,
Abstain?
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson is aye. So it's 3, 1 abstention, and 1 absent. Okay. Discussion vote on future agenda items.
And can I just say quickly before we move on number 18, Tiffany, if for any reason I'm errant and I forget to get that to you, will you help me to remember? I do have, like I said, some really minor stuff.
Yes, yes, I'll try to remind you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry
Okay,
about
so
that.
moving on. Any future agenda items?
I've got 2 new ones for next month. One is there's more help coming down the pike to help customers with their water bills. So I'll have information on that at the next meeting. And the agenda item for the proposals for the updating the standby fees will be on there, so.
Okay. So you'll add that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second that.
Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Killing,
Aye.
Director Nyman is absent. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye. 4-0-1 absent. Okay, good night, everyone.
This meeting is adjourned.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good night,
guys.
everybody. Thank you.
Good night.